Circuit is clear in terms of the marshal's posts down the important end of the track, the bit where we start from. So hopefully in a few moments' time, our minis will be joining us. Although that is juniors up on the screen, so hopefully minis will be up on the screen in a few moments, because I know they're already out because the start gantry is waving the flag. So we'll wait for them to come through. Ben Horner then will start on pole position with Oliver Fabricius alongside Lewis Goff and Isaac Parkinson row 2. Jared Fox-Whiteley and Tom Nottingham on row 3. Lucas Blanford, double race winner so far today, looks to keep his 100% record alive from P7 alongside Brandon Truman. Leon Barlow and Callum Foster complete the top 10. Dan Parsons will start 11th alongside Ben Adrian. We've got Melissa Adrian, then Jack Burgess and Sonny Morgan, your 15 runners. Lewis Goff on the outside, then Ben Horner on the inside. Let's see how they go. Jared Fox-Whiteley, he inherited second place with Brandon Truman picking up a penalty in heat number 2. And, keep an eye out, especially for the yellow helmet coming in off row number 4 of Lucas Blanford. He's the one to watch with 2 race wins so far today. Just been slowed down there by our race director. Let's have a look for the lights to be extinguished. They are, and we're away and racing. It's a good start from Horner as they head down. Fox-Whiteley's going to try and find a gap between the both of them. Fox-Whiteley's going to go to the inside, but I thought he was going to carry loads of speed. And Blanford already up into 3rd place. Round the first corner, he's found the gap, threaded the needle, and moves from 7th up to 3rd on the opening lap. And Horner's gone off. Hard on the brakes. Ben Horner, the race leader, overcooks it into the second chicane. We've got a couple of spinners in the background as well. The 28 of Sonny Morgan and Isaac Parkinson are off. But heavy contact into the tyre wall by our race leader, Ben Horner. Went into the chicane a little bit too hard on the brakes, and backwards into the tyre wall. Jared Fox-Whiteley then inherits the lead, manages to find a way through with Horner facing the wrong way. Now has to hold off the charging Lucas Blanford. Over the line they come then for the first time, as Blanford chops right, chops left, but can't chop past Jared Fox-Whiteley. He leads. Oliver Fabricius picks up a mechanical flag. That's going to send him back to the pit lane. His race is going to be over. The black flag with the orange circle out in the middle, that's the meatball. And that, unfortunately, means retirement unless they can get that fixed incredibly quickly. But it's still going to mean that he's going to be down at the back of the pack. And very, very minimal points at best for Fabricius. Fox-Whiteley then leading the way from Blanford. Goff, Truman, Adrian, Nottingham, Melissa Adrian, then Leon Barlow. Down the inside of Goff goes Truman. Ruins the rankings that I was going through. They're halfway through, so we're going to have to wait again till they come over the line, because he's moved up then into 3rd place with a great overtake there down into the chicane. I don't think Lewis Goff expected that one, and now Goff is coming under pressure from Ben Adrian, who sets the fastest lap of the race. Jared Fox-Whiteley then still out at the front, holding off Lucas Blanford. Blanford makes a late move to the inside. Fox-Whiteley rather compliant in letting him come through, and he will slot back in now behind Lucas Blanford as they head down towards the second chicane. And will now Blanford be able to move away, although he almost overcooks it on exit there. Doesn't get the full run out onto the far end of the circuit. I think he was just parking that car in the middle to stop Fox-Whiteley coming back at him, and he has started to move away already with Fox-Whiteley second, Truman, then Goff, then the 2 Adrians coming through. Ben, though, considerably further down the road than Melissa. She's holding off Tom Nottingham, Leon Barlow, Oliver Fabricius and Callum Foster, as Fabricius once again picks up the mechanical flag over start-finish. He's still out there on track and needs to come in, but he is up into 8th place. Let's see whether he does peel off, and then you will expect to see him drop down the timing on the left-hand side of the screen. We're almost at half race distance already in this Rotax heat number 3. 8 minutes for the heat plus 1 lap, so expect that this to go fairly quickly. We normally get about 9 or 10 laps in with the speed of these mini Rotaxes round here, and it's still nose to tail. Blanford has started to move away at around about half a second a lap, which, with his fantastic start that he had, moving us up from 7th to 3rd on the opening tour of this Fulbeck circuit. Keep an eye on the timing, see whether Fabricius has come into the pits this time, and see whether he comes over, and we'll assess the situation as Leon Barlow goes down the inside of Melissa Adrian. Adrian, though, gets the cart stopped on the outside, as Oliver Fabricius does indeed drop down the timing on the left of the screen. He's down now into P15, which means, unfortunately for him, he's off and into retirement. So he's not going to pick up any points, or minimal at best. So that's going to really, really hamper his starting position for the finals here at Fulbeck. The sun appears to have gone behind a cloud once again, so the track temperature drops ever so slightly, and the twinkle on the driver's visors not quite so much as it was earlier on when we were waiting for them to come back out onto circuit after our lunch break. Well beyond half race distance now, it's Blanford. Truman has got past Fox Whiteley there. You can see in front, Fox Whiteley goes very, very wide, and that's going to hamper his exit, and I think it's balked Lewis Goff, who's going to be overtaken by Ben Adrian down there. So Lewis Goff, balked by Jared Fox Whiteley's somewhat messy exit into out the chicane section. I don't know whether he had a bit of help on the way in, but Lewis Goff balked, and it's allowed Ben Adrian to come through and take that fourth place. Goff, though, still right with them. Certainly carries enough speed to stick with the number 48 machine of Ben Adrian, who has a look over his shoulder. Goff as well. They've got plenty of space then back to Melissa Adrian and Leon Barlow in 5th and 6th respectively. Blanford, though, continuing to move out the gap at the head of the pack. The driver of the number 58 machine in his first year in this mini class from Stratford-upon-Avon, currently on course for a perfect record here at Fulbeck, as Ben Adrian pops out of Jared Fox Whiteley's slipstream and comes through, and looks like Lewis Goff may well come through as well. Jared Fox Whiteley robbed of 2 places. Ben Adrian with an overtake. Lewis Goff with an opportunistic move as Fox Whiteley got run out onto the curbs. He comes through, and Fox Whiteley, who started the lap in 3rd place, now down into 5th. And looks like he's struggling a little bit with pace and grip. He certainly has another look over his shoulder. He's certainly 5th is comfortable, as long as he doesn't do anything silly. But certainly Adrian and Goff are both carrying a little bit more speed than Jared Fox Whiteley in this race. And Fox Whiteley, who had the lead at the early couple of laps here at Fulbeck, has dropped away ever so slightly, and is already starting to fall off the back as the 28 is off. Sonny Morgan, and the cart is parked. He's walking away into retirement, the cart being pushed away by the marshal as well. So unfortunately, the yellow flag will be out down there. That's down at post number 4, so that's the turn 3. This is the left-hander they're going round there now, so no overtaking, but it should still leave an opportunity into this hairpin down for turn 4 before the complex. But we have started to break away ever so slightly from those early race intense battles, with Fox Whiteley going ever so slightly backwards there. You see him in the background in the orange, unable to stick with Lewis Goff. And the both of them, though, in front with Ben Adrian and Lewis Goff, 0.3 quicker than the best lap of Brandon Truman, and almost half a second quicker on the previous lap. So Ben Adrian and Lewis Goff are coming for 2nd place. Truman might want to have a quick look over his shoulder in a minute to see that there's a battle coming behind him. Blanford's down the road already, 2.7 seconds away from the rest of the field, pulling away. And let's see whether Adrian can do anything at all about Truman. Let's see, more importantly, whether Truman even knows they're there. It might be a surprise to him when Ben Adrian gets alongside, if he can, out of this corner. We know he can get a good run because he's already got through down the inside at this part of the track as well. He has a look over his shoulder because we mentioned earlier, he's in the difficult position of having to defend and attack as Blanford puts in the fastest lap of the race, as 47.4 for him. So yeah, Ben Adrian has to do the defending and the attacking, as we see the 27 of Daniel Parsons. He's in the middle of a sandwich as well, which has got Jack Burgess on the back of it. It's Burgess and they're both trying to hunt down the 69 machine of Callum Foster in front, who retired from the previous heat with barely turning a wheel of that number 69 machine. He was out on the opening lap. Time's about to elapse at the top of the screen, so Blanford's going to come through in a few moments to get the last lap board. I think he's already come through, actually. Last lap is shown, but I don't know whether he's picked that one up on timing or not, or whether they're actually going to go through for another lap. Certainly on the top of the screen, it's saying last lap, so we're going to see for Blanford now. I don't think the board was held out, so we'll see whether we go again, because I think we could potentially get one more at the end of this one. I'm not sure it's going to be the last lap, and it's going to give more opportunity, certainly for this battle between Truman, Adrian and Goff for second place. Behind them, Jared Fox-Whiteley still close enough to pick up any scraps if this battle goes the wrong way, but certainly not close enough to make any sort of attack. The checkered flag awaiting up on the top of the gantry. The leader came through early. He's going to take the checkered flag. Lucas Blanford to exit 3 from 3 in a surefire pole position for the final.